Well, all eyes are on Wisconsin as Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders tells his supporters not only has he raised $44 million in March, he's also got the momentum to win the Badger State. His surrogates pointing to the fact that Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton seems to be more focused on the primary coming up in New York. This while the Clinton campaign started accusing the Sanders team of lying. So let's have a fair and balanced debate about the Tuesday primary and the very competitive Democratic race. Fox News contributor Angela McGlowan and Corey Elons, Senior Vice President at Vox Global. Okay, we have a lot to get to, so Corey, I want to start with you because when we talk about that Bernie has all this momentum going into Wisconsin, he's just won 6 out of the 7 states. The headline also should say that even if he wins, Hillary Clinton will be getting almost 50% of the delegates. I think it's around 40% regardless. So does that impede his momentum?
It does, actually. And again, you have to, we're not starting from 0. We're starting from 260. That's about the number of delegates that she has over Bernie Sanders right now. And it's really difficult. It's going to be really difficult for him to overcome that, even in the upcoming races, unless he has big wins. So just like you said, he's going to get a proportional amount of delegates here in Wisconsin. Same thing for New York. Same thing for the big state of California. So that ultimately is why it's going to be very tough for him to overcome where he is right now.
That being said, you do need momentum ahead of New York, because that is also a state that has quite a few delegates, and it's a very symbolic win for very obvious reasons.
It is a symbolic win.
So do you think it's important that I mean, for the Democratic side?
I think it's important that Bernie does well in Wisconsin, and I think it will give him momentum into New York. But I think it's sad, too, that Hillary's ducking him on a debate where she wants to do one on Monday, where it's going to be the NCAA in Syracuse is playing. So she is threatened by Bernie, and I think Bernie's giving her a run for the money. Now, as for starting out at ground zero and with superdelegates can change who they support. So Bernie still has a chance, I think, to pull some of her delegates.
Well, I think that's absolutely true. That's the argument he's putting forward now, that he would certainly love for them to begin to change their minds. But again, we have to go back to the facts of facts. He's not going to have enough momentum to get enough regular delegates to overcome where he is right now.
Do you think his momentum is overblown?
No, I actually don't. I mean, look, Bernie Sanders has won the past 10 caucus states. Yes. I mean, he's done very, very well, and he's given her a run for her money. There's no doubt about that. But the argument that they're going to have an opportunity to make this up in the time that they have left, it's just not going to work.
What's your response to Angela when she just said that perhaps there is some, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but the debate dodging? You know, Hillary came back and said she wants to do it on Monday night, and Bernie said this is ludicrous. Why is there a debate of debates? You know, why isn't there just a debate? Well,
at this point, I mean, you have to actually wonder what is the point of the debates. I mean, what can we say about a particular issue that hasn't already been discussed on the right or the left? That's why you see the debates diminishing in the GOP, and they actually should be diminishing on the left as well at this point in the campaign.
Some people are just now paying attention. Look, we're inside the Beltway where politics is our life, but people, the bread and butter issues and people working every day in single moms, some people are just now paying attention. I think the debate is good.
That's right. I think if you look at the number of people who have watched these debates since last September when the GOP aired their first debate, I believe right here on Fox, the numbers have been huge. Record numbers of folks have been watching. So it's not like people...
But that doesn't mean that your average person has or has not been. I think debates are good because people can flip-flop, and there could be other issues that can come up. I think people should debate up until the convention.
Well, I also think, and I wanted to ask you, do you think more people would be paying attention as well because Bernie is starting to gain momentum, and maybe there's a generation that wasn't paying attention to him before, and now they're paying attention, and it seems like Hillary started focusing on the general before she finished the primary.
Well, I'll tell you this. I think that folks, as I've just said, have been paying attention the whole time. What I hope is that Bernie Sanders actually stays in the race. If you think back to 2008, Hillary Clinton stayed in the race until the last dog died, right? Ultimately, what did that mean? That meant that media attention as well as voter attention continued to be focused on the democratic process, right? If Bernie were to get out now, my concern is that the media would stop even covering what's happening on the Democratic side. That's an advantage for us from an organizing standpoint as well as from a enthusiasm standpoint. We want to make sure that we have registered voters in all of these parts, and when you have these events all over the country, those are organizing events as well. It's not just for pretty pictures on TV. It's an opportunity for us to continue to generate popularity with our voters
But
as
if
well.
Bernie stays in the race, and they don't debate, people would have to come to these events to actually hear them, and I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair at all. There should be a forum where they can still discuss things because you have voters that are undecided.
All right, Angela, I'm going to have to give you the last word on that. It's interesting, we talk so much about unity, but at the same time, there is different dynamics if he does stay in the race. So very interesting points. I'm sure we'll be talking about it ahead of those big conventions this summer. Thank you so much.
Thank you.